Hello guys, and welcome back to my beginner's guide to Factorio. Since the last episode, I've spent a little bit of time just collecting a few resources and exploring the map a little bit more. So it saves a little bit of time for you guys, watching me wander around. But so pull up the map here, you can sort of see I ran around just to sort of see what was about. These red areas here, big red blotches, are the enemy bases, the enemy sort of spawn points where they live and spawn from. And the little ones are the biters and their spitters themselves. So you can see we have reasonably big base up the top here. Is one, I think, or maybe two. We've got some more to the northwest. There's one to the southwest of us. And yeah, still not sure what's over here. But when you're thinking about which way you're going to build your factory or where you're going to put it, you want a lot of space to expand into. So see these yellow dots here? This is a transport belt that I have built. Got to plan things out a little bit. So this is where we're going to do all our smelting. We're going to smelt all our primary resources up here. Everything's going to be smelted up here basically, and then we're going to shift it downwards. I think that's going to be the best option. There's a little bit of oil around here as well. It's going to come in useful a bit later on. But if you were playing with the enemies enabled, you can see this darker red patch here. This is our pollution, and these biters and spitters, they hate pollution. So if it's going down at the minute because all the machines have turned themselves off because they're all full. But when you've got your factory in full running gear, this will expand outwards, and when it starts to get too close to these, you'll piss them off and they will come and attack your base. But we don't have to worry about that for now, so we're pretty good. We're not going to build directly into them because it's just going to cause problems. There's going to be an obstacle really we're going to have to get rid of. So I think we're going to go this way and move downwards. So this large area here is all going to be smelting. They look pretty big, but when you start building, you'll realise that even this may be a little bit too small. We may have to extend it backwards. Then we're going to run our factory from north to south. So most of the factory is going to be down on this line here. This does mean that we're going to have to move these resources a fair distance. Have to move the copper all the way down onto here and the iron across. Well, that shouldn't be too much of a problem. This is going to take a lot of belt. And as for the power, which is going to be the focus of this episode, I believe, I think we're going to sort of try and slide it on the end here, where it's next to this coal. At least we don't have to build too much transport belt to start with. So let's get rid of the map for a second. Let's have a little look around. Okay, so we're going to sort of run the power. It needs to be connected to water, so then we're going to run it off of here. We may just edge it down a little bit just so it's not going to run into the bottom of this coal vein, so we can completely mine this coal vein out at some point. We're not going to have to demolish anything to get underneath to get the coal out. So let's get started. Right, now I have collected, we've got 250 stone. We have 66 wood. 600 iron plates and 100 copper plates. Now this may be a little bit of overkill, and if you go for a more compact design, you might not need this. A lot of this plate we're going to turn into the transport belt. We can make 200 of them. 200 by 2, that's 400 pieces of transport belt we can currently build. But right now we're going to focus on the power. So for power we are going to need an offshore pump, which needs some electric circuits, some pipes, iron gear wheels. Is 5 steel and 3 copper. I'm going to set that one off. They will queue them up and make the precursors first. So this is where we're going to get the water from. And then we're going to pipe this water around a little bit. I'm going to build the pipes at the end so they don't get used up. And we're going to pipe it into some boilers. Now we're going to need 15 boilers. So if we right click on this, it will build 5 at a time. It's very useful. Saves you clicking 15 times, especially if you want to build something like 200 transport belt tracks, which, well, we shouldn't need to do. I think we're going to try and get it automated pretty soon, so we don't have to sit here and do it ourselves. And we'll move things around because, like I say, there is no penalty for picking things up, so sometimes it's good to just drop down temporary structures, build something somewhere temporarily, and then come back to it later. So these 15 boilers, they are going to fuel 10 steam engines. Let's start the build on 10 of those. And we can also add things to the end of this queue, so you don't have to wait for it to finish these 10 steam engines. They do take a little bit of time. And we're going to need 15 burner inserters. And this is what we're going to use to bring the coal from the fuel line, from the fuel belt, where we're going to transport it along. We're going to grab it and put it into the boilers. I'm going to grab 15 of them to match up with our boilers. And then we're going to build, we get a couple of piped grounds, and I'm going to get 10 pipes. I'm not going to need them probably, but I'm going to set them up anyway. And then we're going to make a ton of transport belts. So it's doing while we're doing other things. Oh, unfortunately, it's going dark. This is a little bit of a dark game, so apologies if you can't see what's going on too well. I'll show you it afterwards. All these machines have stopped running because, well, this one's run out of coal. But these are full. They've got 100 plates to them each. And these, I just filled them up before I went off exploring the map. So when I come back, they're all full. We're going to leave those in there for now. And as you can see, even with all this transport belt we're going to build, we still have 85 plates and a shed load of stone. So we're mainly hammering iron at the minute. We only used 3 of those 100 copper plates that we collected. Oh, we also need to turn some of this wood into small electric poles. So we're going to use quite a few of these because they don't have a long range on them. We will upgrade them a little bit later on. But for now, we have the resources. We're just going to stack a few of those. There's one little thing I do want to show you. If you want to pause the game, if you press Shift and then Spacebar, we'll pause the game. You'll get this grid system come up. Now, this grid system is not dependent on where you're standing. It's placed on the map, so it's always here. If I move around, it still runs down here. So these are 32 by 32. So you can use this to sort of measure things out. I mean, the boilers are 1 long and the steam engines are 5 long. If we place the boilers and the steam engines in a big long line, which is what I usually do, to be honest, it's going to rock up to 65 long. So if it starts here, it's going to end just here. So it's going to be quite a long thing. Oh, that is right, yeah. I was looking at the thing, that's not going to be that long, but yeah, it does end up being quite long. You can also sort of judge if you're going to run into anything as well. I think we may just clip the bottom of this. Let's have a look. So we've made 50 transport belts. I shed a lot of these, and we still have a few resources left. And we also have backup in here and here and down in the other ones as well. So the first thing we're going to place is our offshore pump. Now this does need to be connected to the water. It can't be in the middle of the water, but it has to be on the edge of the water and land. It will auto-rotate itself once it finds a spot that it's allowing you to plonk it down on. I'm going to stick it there for now. Now this will connect at this bottom end here. Let me grab it up again. So if you spin it, it will connect on the left hand side here, top here, oops, top there, and the right hand side here. You have to connect your pipe to here, you can't run it off the side. So just there is going to be fine. We're going to run the power, the boilers and the steam engines to the right, to the east. So what we're going to do is going to use a few of those pipes we built earlier. Just going to move it down a little bit, just so we've got a little bit of clearance on this coal line here. So we've got 3 pipes there, and then what we're going to do is go pipe to ground. Now it is a little bit different to the pipes. They will only connect on the one side. Standard pipes will connect anywhere, so you can connect on all sides. Can be a little bit of a pain sometimes when you're dealing with more than one fluid. You mix up your pipes and connect them to each other, you can ruin your pipeline. You've got to disconnect the whole thing to get rid of the resource in there that you want to get rid of. So just be a little bit careful. I said the pipe to grounds, they'll only connect on the one side, so we have to spin this around so it's facing this pipe like this. Then it will connect here, lovely. And then we pull it out to the right, we'll see the 2 yellow lines which indicate where it's going to be running underground. And when they disappear, you've gone too far. This doesn't run forever, you can't run it all the way down here. It'll only go about 10, I think it is long. So we're just going to put one down here and here, so the water will jump on the ground here and come up here. And we're doing this solely because it gives us the run up here. Can't run through normal pipe, so if this was all normal pipe, then every time you wanted to get up here from down this side, we'd have to run all the way down here, past all our steam engines and boilers, and then up the other side. So this just gives us a little bit of maneuverability around the base. Also keeps things a little bit tidier, which is never a bad thing. So as you can see, we've got a little water symbol here. We hover over the pipe, it's telling us that we have 10 water running through this pipe at 15 degrees. Is perfect for us right now. I mean, to power the steam engines, we do need to boil this water, so we use these boilers. Now these will auto-rotate once you hook them onto a pipe. You can run them north to south or east to west, it's entirely up to you. But we are going to run it this way for our base. And if you press and hold it and run to the right, to the left, it will just keep placing them down as long as you don't move your mouse. Sometimes you hit problems when you'll run into a tree and jump up and you'll end up building on the wrong line. But easily remove that quicker than just clicking in every single spot. So those are our 15 boilers. We are going to connect to 10 engines, steam engines. Right, see now we can't place this here because this tree is in the way, so we'll whack this tree out of the way. And this tree's in the way as well. The bane of the game, the trees. There we go. As you can see, it did end up being very long. So if we'd have had it connected straight from here, we'd have had to run all the way down to around here to get up over the top. As we have our main copper patch up here, that would be a pain. Every time we wanted to add things to the copper patch, we'd have to come back. We have to go all the way around. So we could do this a slightly different way. We could split this into 2. Have 5 boilers running underneath, connected to 5 steam engines. As long as you've got the ratio of 15 to 10, so you'd have to have 7 and 8 or something. Or you could even split it here. Run some pipe down like so, and then snag another one to demonstrate. Snag one off there and one off of, yeah, like that, so we can have them going 5 long side by side. I think it might actually work a little bit. Let's try that. I normally just do it in one big long line. Being silly here. I'm going to keep a couple of those. I think that should fit. No. No, it's because we put the pipe in between. There we go. So let's do it like this. I'm going to leave a space of 1 in between these. I'll demonstrate that in a second. So this just compacts the whole thing down a tad. These 15 boilers will boil the water. It doesn't matter how far it goes, I don't think. Once it's left the boiler, it will remain at 100 degrees. As long as you fully power all these boilers. They start running out of coal, the temperature of the water will drop. And then the steam engine's performance will drop and your electric will drop. Whereas here we can't run it in between here. These are pain, so we're just going to drop another pipe here. Rotate it up and then drop it onto the side there. So now we can run freely up and down the middle of here if we wish. There we are. Now these boilers are complaining that they have no fuel. And I don't have any fuel on me. So let's just go snag a load of coal from there. And we're just gonna put some in here randomly. Just to get the whole thing up and running. Now they are boiling the water. If you hover over this, you will see the temperature has jumped up to... Oh, the water temperature does drop. I didn't think it did. Ah. Could be problematic then. May have to add a few boilers. The temperature of the water is dropping. Maybe that will sort itself out once the boilers start working fully. Well, we will see. We will see. I mean, it's not a big issue to chuck some more boilers in. A little bit less efficient, but we're not going to worry too much about that for now. Now, these are now moaning. They say they've got no power, but what they mean is they have nothing to power. Nothing is requesting a drain from them. So with all your electrical gear, you have to place these power cables, power lines, to connect them up together. Now the blue shaded circle underneath, run out here for a second, that is the area that this power line will connect in. Anything sitting in this area will get power, even if it's just touching the side there. So these will be able to pass power down this cable now. Their edges are touching. It doesn't matter how big it is, as long as there's a little bit of it. You can even do it like that, just the one block. What we are going to do is we're going to run it down the center here, which is why we left a little gap. If you can hold and run away, you will place your cables as far apart as they can while still connecting. So if we were to move this one back one, you'll notice that the cable disappears from the middle, too far away. If you get further into the game, we'll get cables that run a lot further. So you don't have to place them as close together. And you also get cables that have a larger radius on them. You don't have to use as many in your builds. So that is almost power complete. We just need something to power. So we're going to run here and grab some electric mining drills. Remove my transport belt there. And with this hotkey system here, if you put something into the hotbar. This is going to be number 1 for me. This is number 2. This is number 3. Number 4 is here. 5. And then the second set is shift and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you put something into here and then you middle mouse button on it, you'll get a little blue background on it. That means that nothing else will go into this slot. Only transport belt can go into this slot. The filter. If you want to put something else in here, yeah, the filter has to be cleared. So every time I get transport belt, I can just drop it into this slot. This slot will always be reserved for transport belts. So I know where it is. I can quickly find it. I know it's always going to be on number 1. I don't have to set it up. If I run out, nothing else will drop in there. We have our transport belt there. Oh, we do have these 15 burner inserters. These little things here. I'll briefly explain these. These are main part of the game, really. The inserters. They move things from one side, from this side with a bar on it, where I'm standing, to the other side with the arrow on it. The things always move where the arrow points, basically. So we have transport belt here and here. We have something pass along here. This inserter would grab it and shift it across and stick it down on here. This is how you move things around in your factory. So what we are going to be wanting to do is to have fuel running past these boilers here. As the fuel is here, I think we're just going to run it this way. We don't want to run it right next door, because we need a little space for the inserter. So we're just going to run it down to there. One away, and then we're going to put our inserters in here, the arrow pointing into the boilers, and run along and throw them all down there as well. Now these are burner inserters, so they require fuel to run. The fuel can be anything. It can be coal, it can be wood. You can use small electric poles. Because these are made from wood, you can use these as fuel, so they have a fuel value. Not very efficient, but in the later game, if you've got an abundance of these and you just want to get rid of them, you can either stick them in a chest somewhere, or you can just go throw them in something that's using fuel, and then they will just burn away, and you can forget about them forever and ever. Use the more efficient and better steel ones. But they are all we have for now, so we will have to make do. So we're going to have our coal running across here, and it's going to be grabbed by these inserters and thrown into the boiler. As the coal is here, we're going to slap down a couple of these electric mining drills. I hope you can see this. I have to put this on all as well. Yeah, a little torch in front of you. Just light up a little arc in front of you. Later on you can research lights. And I will do that because I know this game can be a little bit dark at times. So, as you can see, these are a little bit larger than the burner miners. And they have a little grey area around them. This is the area that they are going to mine from. So they will mine directly underneath themselves. They will also mine on these outskirts as well. Now you can place them right next door to each other. Is what you tend to do, really. I mean, it does mean they are both mining these two inside tracks here, which makes it quicker to go through this whole makes it quicker to mine out these areas. Got two of them working on this center section, and it also gives you more throughput on your lines, so you can have more coal running down the line. With little outlying bits like this, you don't have to waste efficiency and put one just on this like this and put it up here. If we move it from there, we get 7.5k. There we get a whole 11k there. Get a whole 9.7 if you put it there. We lose a little bit because we've lost a square in this corner. But this will mine out this stray little piece here for us. So we're going to set up 2 of these, I believe. We could stick them side by side and have transport belt running down here like so. One thing to note about the transport belt is that it has 2 sides. There's a left side and a right side. And when these mine, they will mine things out and they will drop it on the left hand side, on the closest side to them. So everything will be on this left hand side, this right hand side will be free. I mean, in some situations that can be useful. Right now we're just going to have coal running down this line, so we're going to put them opposite each other, both facing the same line. Get rid of this. So that when they mine, one will mine and drop it on the left hand side of the track, and one will mine and drop it on the right hand side. We will get a double fill line in essence. Run that out a little bit, see if we can demonstrate. Because these are moaning that they have no power. A pretty simple job to... Not going to work. We would love to put one just like there and have it power them both, but because the line isn't long enough, we're going to have to put one there and put it on the back. No, and we'll put one there as well. Sometimes you have to move things around a little bit to get your poles in. It's not too much of a problem. I say these outlying areas will be mined by this anyway, so as you can see here, this one on the bottom is filling up this bottom line, and this one on the top is filling up this top line. All nice. These inserters don't mind which line they grab from. They will always favour the furthest line from them. So this one will always favour the top line. It has if there's something on both of them, it will grab the one on the top first. But it will also grab from the bottom if it needs to. So all we need to do now is connect this belt down here and then across. Now you will notice that this has stopped. This line is running straight down and there's no corner piece in here. And if you get this, get off the track. Get the corner piece, you just change this from a horizontal one to a vertical one, and then it will turn itself into a little corner. And then our inserters will start feeding themselves first because they need coal themselves, and then they will run along and start feeding our boilers. These will always take preference, so it will go past here first, and if this one needs coal, it will grab it first. As we stacked it full of coal, it doesn't. And these will fill up to about 5, and then they will stop asking for more coal. They'll just burn through the coal they have, and when they get to 4, they will grab another one. So when these do stop, be relatively soon. Oh no, one still has to go. And yep, just this one needs one more. And now they are all fuels. These are all full. Not full, but they have enough to get them going. They'll only hold 1 at a time. These will only hold 5 at a time. For the rest of the coal, they'll just start stacking up onto this belt. And this is sort of known as a sort of buffer storage. So when these do finally need some coal, it's already going to be there, already waiting for them. I'm just going to check this water quickly. Oh, it's all got to 100. I think it should be pretty good. It's not going too far. That'd be a good test. Maybe run that later. And just run out a pipe right down here or something and just see what happens to the water. If it does lose temperature. But at the minute, this is massive overkill. It's only powering these 2 little things. Consume 90 kilowatts each, and these kick out 510 kilowatts each. So we have 5,100 kilowatts to power 180. But I like to get this system set up beforehand, then I don't have to keep coming back and adding more boilers in or adding more steam engines in later on. I know I can expand quite freely till I have to come back, and then when I do come back I will just add a complete new line of these. I will do the same thing again with the 15 boilers and the 10 of these. I think this is a pretty efficient setup. I didn't come up with these numbers. I've seen them on a fair few videos. A lot of people are using these numbers, so I think somebody worked it out, and that's what everyone uses now because it's the most efficient way. So our next job is probably going to be to automate our production of iron and copper, and then set up our smelteries. But that's about all we've got time for in this episode. So I'm going to say thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, if you have learned anything new, please give the video a like. It will help the people to find the video. If you have any comments or questions or hints for me or tips or anything like that, any suggestions, then drop a comment in the comments below, and feel free to subscribe to my channel and you will get notified when I post new videos. Again, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.